semuanya, apa kabar? Pastinya kabar baik, bukan? Bersama saya Romeo Dirk Junior. Saudara-saudara sekalian, untuk lebih jelasnya silakan menonton video berikut ini sampai selesai. Jangan lupa tinggalkan pendapat Anda di kolom komentar. Selamat menonton. Terima kasih. God bless you.
Shahar Khan, you have basically built a social media presence around the fact that you left Islam to follow Jesus. So let's get right after it, my friend. Why did you leave Islam?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if you had met me 5 years ago, you would have never guessed what I was about to do. And leaving Islam was by far the hardest thing I'd ever done in my entire life. And I want to paint just a little background here. We grew up as New York Muslims. My father was actually working on Wall Street when the second plane hit the Twin Towers on 9/11. And so we were told as young kids that we need to be the Western light of Islam, like great grades, amazing performance, be so peaceful and respectful, because we had to show the Western world that this isn't what Islam's about. It's not jihad. It's us being excellent people of God. And so this would breed this performance culture in my life all through my elementary, middle school, high school, going into my college years. But as I slowly started coming to my own senses and I realized that I had adopted a religion that was really just imparted into me when I was 3 years old, I started to question things. And I thought in my head, truly, if Islam is the truth, then it should be able to answer any questions I have easily, without a doubt. And so that was a level of honesty and integrity that I had. And so of course I would expect it out of my creator and my religion. And so slowly, as I was getting into college, I slowly had these seeds of doubt planted in my head with Islam, to the point where I would actually start doubling down on Islam. I was actually known as a sport debater on my campus. I would talk to all my Christian friends, all of my fraternity brothers, and I would be the guy that was like, dude, I know more about the Injil and Jesus than you do. I know more about your faith than you do. I follow Jesus more than you do. I pray like him. I respect like him. I love like him. But it got to a point where I was almost affirmed. And I kind of had a long encounter with the lukewarm Christian church, because those arguments were standing. They were winning. And so I thought, man, Islam is the way and the truth, right? Until I met what I call a 1 Peter 3:15 Christian, which was somebody who was not afraid to defend their hope in their heart, but to do so with love and grace and mercy. And that was my fraternity vice president. And so I get to college and I'm being this high performing Muslim man. I become a fraternity president. And so I'm a leader. I'm a fisher of men, as you know, in that sense, at least. And my fraternity vice president sits with me and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about your faith. And I was like, dude, I would love to. And so I had this agreement with him that he was a Christian, but he was the first real Christian I saw. And he was somebody who had the fruit of the Spirit, who was walking with Jesus every step. He had this peace and this delight and this joy that I didn't have. And I was like, dude, this guy, it didn't even feel Christian, honestly. It felt otherworldly. And so I had this agreement with him. We would go to a Whataburger, which is a restaurant, you know, down here in the South. And if I could convince him if I could convince him of my faith, he would become Muslim. And if he could convince me of his faith, I would become Christian. And over this next year of discipleship and chicken fingers and ranch dressing, he actually was reading the gospel to me. And he wasn't a pastor. He wasn't a theologian. He wasn't somebody who was so well equipped to answer every single objection. He just had the true love of Jesus inside of him. And when I saw that and I met that, and he wrestled with me for a whole year, I was asking deep questions. I was talking to him about my fear of leaving Islam. He was the first one who had shown me what Christianity actually was.
Wow.
And so through him, through my fraternity vice president, with him wrestling with my identity and my panic attacks and my fear, he was the one who showed me what it was like to be a follower of Jesus. And by experiencing that love through him, it gave me the confidence to do something that not a lot of Muslim people do, which is to read the Bible without an agenda, without an argument, without waiting for something to fall through, but to read it openly and honestly, because I wanted to know what this guy believed in. And when I saw that power in him, and I read the Bible now because of him, I didn't see contradictions. I saw prophecy, and I didn't see corruption as I had been trained to say. I saw the entire Old Testament, like Daniel 7 and Micah and all these prophets and Moses pointing to Jesus like the Psalms did. And I was like,
giving me goosebumps, brother.
Yeah, I had goosebumps reading it. I was like, man, like, what is going on here? And so I quickly went back and I'm like supersetting like the gym. I have the Quran in one hand, I got the Bible in the other. And I'm like, what is the Quran saying about Jesus? Like, I see that it's referencing him as the sinless, the one to judge, the virgin birth. And I'm seeing it in the Bible. And I'm like, I had this limiting belief cracked that just shattered my world. It was like, I was looking at the Bible with so much more criticism than I was my own Quran. And when I had that humbling moment and I kind of put them side to side, to be honest, the Quran failed in a lot of ways.
Wow.
And I realized that, I prided myself on being a man of integrity. Integrity being my word means something and I do the things that I would in public and private. And I have this level of self-respect for myself. I'm consistent. And I wasn't consistent for the last 20 something years of my life. And that shattered me, everything I believed in.
I think that's one of the things you've really posted about on your social media. And I applaud you for your honesty, your transparency, your raw authenticity. But in your social media, you basically talk about how one night it kind of all came to a head and you were about to end your life. Can you tell us about that night?
I absolutely can. So this was a time where I had left Islam, like my belief in it had been shattered, but I hadn't let Jesus heal me yet. Like I hadn't let Jesus into my life. I believed in Jesus and I wore a cross around my neck, but not once had I thought for a second, oh, I wanted to walk with Jesus. There was no relationship. It was a repackaging of religion. And so I remember this night so vividly. It was November 1st, 2022. It was 1 a.m. and I had just come home to my high school bedroom. I had to move out of my apartment because I was in performance mode. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a businessman. I had quit my full-time job to pursue my higher purpose of business, which later on was an infatuation. And I had ended up in 40K of debt. I had a horrible relationship with my family because my family at this point had thought that I was just screwing up. And so they pretty much disowned me for becoming Christian. They did not agree with it. It was very aggressive. My mom would cry whenever she saw the Christian cross. My dad, he's a physical guy. He grew up in Pakistan, very rough. So, physical abuse was a thing in our family. So he almost swung at me. I was like, almost caught that hand off of him. I was like, chill out, dude. I work out now. We've healed from that a lot, thank God. But in that moment, I had no more friends. I didn't have an identity. I had $40,000 of debt. I had the banks calling me from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. trying to collect. And truthfully, I didn't have any love in my life. And the pain that I was going through was louder than the hope I had in my heart.
Wow.
And so what I did was I threw up a prayer. I remember texting this on my iPhone notes. I said, "Dear Allah, I can't do this anymore. Why is my head failing on me? I want to quit. I just can't do this anymore. Just please, please help." And I lock my phone and I pass out. And the next day, I truthfully thought I wasn't going to live anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to find a way out. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to just get one last night of rest and see what happens. The next morning, I shoot out of bed and my sleep schedule is destroyed. And for some reason, I'm up and I'm awake and the colors are brighter. And for some reason, there was this feeling of deep grace and love over my life. And I heard this word, and I don't know if it was in my dream the day before or if it was that morning, but I heard, "Get up and go." Like, you are healed, get up and go. And when I looked that up in the Bible, not the Quran, the Bible, Jesus's words to the man that he healed was, "You are healed, like you are mine, get up and go."
Bro, every 2 minutes you start talking, I'm actually getting chills. This is amazing.
Dude, I mean, this is the raw testimony. Like, this is what lit me on fire. Like, the apologetics and the research and the information overload, like, that was great. It helped me believe, but this is what I turn back to when I'm like, God, like, what is my purpose? Like, he showed me in that moment that I'm his. Oof. Period.
Wow.
Thank God. Hallelujah, man.
Wow. Come on, brother. Come on. I am so encouraged. I know my friend here is encouraged. But let me ask you this question. So let's say my friend clicked on this video because they saw, why I left Islam to follow Jesus. And they're maybe from an Islamic background. And having done a lot of these conversations, I know that basically the biggest hangup isn't actually theological; it's relational. It's I'm scared to let my parents down. The cultural shame that I'll bring on my whole family if I do this. So there's a lot of guilt associated with this. But let's say my friend clicked on this video as you kind of put it, as a Hail Mary. Let's see what this guy has to say. Let's see what Shahar has to say. Let's talk to him right now. Talk to him or her right now in the camera lens. What would your encouragement be if they're questioning Islam and starting to see that maybe there's something to this real Yeshua?
I would look at myself and I'd be like, hey man, like, you're not crazy for questioning. You're not betraying anybody for questioning this. You're wrestling with this. And that's because God has something inside of you that he needs to show you. And it's not going to be anything you can do. It's not going to be the good angel and the bad angel. It's not going to be your family. It's going to be something higher, something bigger and better than you could ever imagine. And when you're at night and you're looking yourself in the mirror and your eyes are red from exhaustion and your bones are shaking and you're tired and you know that this isn't what you're meant to do, I'm going to need you to lean in here. I don't want you to take anybody's opinion. I don't want you to take anybody's religion. I need you to be so brutally honest, one, with God. I want you to invite God into your life and say, God, I need you to show me who you really are because I'm at my end here. And then second, I need you to be a man of God. If in Islam that we preach the discipline, we preach the pride, right? I need you to go back to these books and I need you to honestly make your own opinion on this because you have to turn out the world and focus just on God, just on Jesus. In the Quran, it says Jesus is a word and a spirit from God. And I need you to understand his message fully because what you will lose, your family, your friends, your culture, maybe your job, your connections, you'll read this in the Bible, but it will be restored many, many, many times over. And I'm telling you that peace, that fruit, the fruit of the Spirit that will come into your life, having the Holy Spirit in your heart will make the dinner tables fun again. It'll make the friendships and community groups more alive and you'll feel present again. And you'll know that there's nothing you can do to earn it, just that you will be loved as a son and you will feel like that child again that, as any Muslim I think would say, when we were children was some of the best time of our lives. And so that's what's available for you, but you have to want it. That's what I would say.
Wow, my brother Shark, this has been electric to me. I can feel the Holy Spirit resonating in this conversation. I'm so excited to see what your testimony and your bravery will do to my friend here. So, I know you just got started on this social media journey. How can people follow you?
Yeah, so we're doing a 90-day challenge. I'm posting a video on apologetics or testimony or just whatever my journey was every day for 90 days on YouTube. We're on day 30 as of now. So subscribe to me on YouTube. It's at Sharik-Khan. That's the best way to reach me. I also have an Instagram at RealSharik-Khan that I just started posting on as well. But truthfully, I want to go deep with you guys. I want to build a strong community with you guys. We haven't launched a formal community yet, but be looking forward to that. But YouTube, I respond to every single comment. Instagram, I'll respond to every single DM because I want to talk with you guys. I do not want to be a talking head on a screen. I want to build real community. So that's the best way to reach me.
My brother, I am so encouraged by you. This is just the beginning. We're going to have you back on. And as you were mentioning, you just got started. Brother, I am thrilled for you. You have an amazing personality, a charisma. God's going to use you in crazy ways. I am a fan of my boy Sharik-Khan. My brother, thank you so much and God bless.
Raj, thank you so much, brother.
Oh,